China just shocked the world by turning an entire desert into a full-blown forest, but the method they used will leave you speechless. China always finds a way to outdo even impossible feats, and when it comes to this green Great Wall, just like with the Great Wall of China, they smash through the goalpost. The battleground where they achieve this is the Taklamakan, which is about 337,000 square kilometers of near-rainless sand locked between the Tian Shan and Kunlun ranges. It gets very little rain, summers are very hot, winters are very cold, and strong winds move the sand like waves. People once said this land could not be farmed or planted. Still, China decided to hold the dunes in place, give young trees a chance to live, and bring water to places that almost never see rain. First, China slowed the sand, then China brought back green. The plan started in 1978. China called it the Three North Shelter Belt Program, or the Green Great Wall. It is not one single wall of trees. There are many belts of trees, small forests, lakes, and windbreaks that stretch more than 4,500 kilometers, from Xinjiang in the west to Heilongjiang in the northeast. The idea was simple to say and hard to do. Plant a lot of trees, stop the sand from moving, and raise the share of land covered by forest. Since then, China says it has added about 32 million hectares of new trees, treated tens of millions of hectares of dry grassland, and fixed large areas that were turning into desert. Forest cover has risen from about 10% in 1949 to more than 25% today. In short, less land is getting worse, and some land is getting better. On the ground, the first tool is a straw. Teams study how the wind blows and how the dunes move. Then they lay straw on the sand in a big grid, like a checkerboard. Each square is about 20 by 20 feet. Workers dig shallow trenches, pack the straw into the lines, and make a net that sits on top of the dunes. This simple net slows the wind near the ground, traps blowing sand, and holds a little moisture. After that, planters come with machines that drill a small hole in the middle of each square. Into those holes, they set tough, dry zone plants such as saxaul, desert poplar, and red willow. They press the soil and add water. The straw shades the ground, keeps in water, and stops sand from cutting the roots. Over time, the straw breaks down and turns into a thin layer of natural food for the soil. The young roots grow deeper, and each tiny plant helps hold the dune in place. Small spots of life link up and become belts of green. Water is the next pillar, and the sun helps make it. The Taklamakan gets more than 2,700 hours of sun each year. Along the Tarim Desert Highway, engineers set up 86 solar-powered pumping stations. That power lifts groundwater from more than 100 meters below and sends it through buried pipes to drip lines that feed over 200,000 roadside trees. Many panel fields stand about 2 meters above the ground, so air moves and shade keeps the soil cooler and wetter. Plants like licorice, red willow, and hawthorn can grow below the panels. In short, the sun makes power, power brings water, water keeps trees alive in a place with almost no rain. In some hubs, China also built mirror fields that follow the sun and focus light onto a tower. There, molten salt is heated above 540 degrees Celsius to make steam and run a turbine. The hot salt stores heat, so power keeps flowing at night and on cloudy days. New tools now speed up planting. The program ties in with daily life. Around the Taklamakan and parts of the Gobi, new forests, solar sites, and water pools serve as science and eco-parks. Places like Saihanba in Hebei, the Mao Wusu area, and the Kubuki Desert show big gains. Officials report far fewer sandstorms than in the 1980s. Some places that once had around 100 dusty days a year are closer to 30 now. New green belts also take in large amounts of CO2, acting like green lungs. The limits are documented alongside the winds. Ecologists warn that relying too heavily on single, fast-growing species can leave plantations vulnerable. Regardless, the scale and methods have made China a reference point in the global fight against desertification.